Well, as you see, it's light out when I'm working. Amazing. So last night, I got the whole thing ready to rock and roll, or so I thought. Tried to fire it up, got fuel, all that good stuff, and then discovered through the backfiring of the intake that my distributor's in 180 out. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to get this pig fired up. And if it goes well, I'm going to add water and see if it's watertight. Oh, yeah, you can see that I've done a good job cleaning up the garage, making it all nice and all that good stuff. Yeah, no, I haven't. I don't know why I don't know. You just get excited and want to keep doing stuff. Gloves. I think that's good. Nope, Samiri on the inside. I'm so cheap, I reuse gloves. But sometimes I can get 2 or 3 uses out of a set of gloves. Not all the time, but sometimes. Anywho's, and away. There we go. There we go. Alright, let's get this pig open. I know I gotta pull the dizzy cap off. Already did that, we're good. Gotta pull the distributor cap. I'm hoping I can leave it all hooked up and wired, because I'd hate to have to do that again. It's not that bad, but you know, preferences being what they are. I can definitely disconnect that, and that one somehow magically stays in. Come on, China. Oh, that one's loose. Yeah, I think I should be able to pull that out. I hope. I'd really like to get this thing running and put on the ground. Although what I ought to do is, once I do get it running, and particularly with water in it, is I ought to see if my there we go. Oh yeah, that worked great. Seen a lot of people do them, but I never seen them do it on a Corvette. So yeah, I could rotate the wires around, but that would just confuse a fella, so I'm not even going to bother. I should disconnect that too. And get some more freedoms. Clips being what they are, they can be annoying. Don't worry about the fuzzies on that. They're magnetic. They'll stay right there. There's that one loose. And then that one came back on. Of course. Oh, someone's calling me. I don't know who that is. Suspected spam caller. Well, if Google suspects you, I'm definitely suspecting you. There we go. That can sit right there. Alright, and I think I used a 7/16 bolt to tighten down. Hey, Turbo. What's up, brother? Brother man. What are you doing? What are you doing, Fuzzy? Hi. He's a little skittish when he's outside. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Or, as Puddin would say, him's a good boy. Him's a good boy. Don't really need that anyway if I'm going to initially time it. But, so we see where that thing's pointed. It needs to go this way. So what I'm hoping to do is just spin that rotor until this thing's pointing this direction. Once I get it out, providing I can. Yep, I guessed right. 7/16. You can't see what I'm doing, but that's okay. Just trust me, there's a bolt holding this thing down in there. There we go. I just spent some time editing this week's video, which is from late February, and we're in early May currently. 1, 2, put that there. So if I lift this up, and do that, nope, a little far. Nope. That's about right. Well, that should get me in the ballpark. I'm not going to worry about it. Let's see if I can get this thing back in and started. Of course, I'm optimistic today because when you watch all these old videos that you make, you're always like, man, I've done an awful lot. And that's true, I have. But it never feels like it's anything until it's running and not spitting coolant out of your number 7 cylinder. There we go, it started. And then maybe you can see that now. I don't know. I don't know what you can see. I noticed that I had this thing up a little too far when I was doing other stuff, so I'm trying to get a little better at filming just for giggles. Oop. It's not even on. There we go. I ordered a 5/8 wrench so that I can kind of crank down on those spark plugs a little bit better. There we go, just enough. Yeah, I do think that's pointed the wrong way, but I can always just turn this thing, so I'm not terribly worried about it. I should have plenty of movement on the thing, at any rate. There's that. Oh, these things are annoying. There goes Nabucco. There we go. Go over to the other side. Probably supposed to turn that to the right, but it doesn't really want to. There we go. It's a little better. And no doubt you guys can't see a thing. There we go. Cap on, cap on, cap on. All right. Reconnect wiring. There should be enough fuel in there just to get a positive feeling about whether it's going to fire or not. Tack. Not that I need it. Let's see. And then red ignition wire. So again, there's no water in this thing right now. I'm just trying to make sure that it runs, and it sounds like it's running on all 8, because, you know, that'd be ideal. Check my wires again, they're good. I don't like that that one's so close, but that's okay. I can always get another wire. Well, it's got some air gap, should be alright. Check the other one. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump you guys. Clear, 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 and clear. Alright, we're good. It's got ignition. This is the moment of truth. Let's see if anything good happens. Like I said, there should be fuel in the thing. We're in neutralis. Yep. Okay. I know what's leaking down below. That is the O2 sensor. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. Alright. Sweet. So I had it timed, or 180 out. So that's good to know. Alright. I don't know what you guys are going to see. Ain't gonna be much. And I put it on that collector. I think I gotta go. Yeah. There it is. See my glorious welds under here. Oh yeah, look at that weeping. Isn't that great? Transmission. I've got a time cert or helicoil set or whatever you want to call it, ready to do the work. It's just going to be a freaking mess, and I kind of am not terribly worried about it. It's not like I'm going to the track and going to oil anything down. Boy. A lot of freaking turns on that guy. Like so many turns. There we go. Righty tighty fault. Oh, there we go. And then I think that's like a 21 or something, but I'll use the whole universal job. Hey there. I'll just do the universal job and give it a good little eat. That's the nice part about welding in your own stuff. You get to put it in the best location. Wrong direction, right direction. I'm kind of flying blind myself. Wrong way. Right way. There we go. That's snug. The wire's out of the way. That should be good. I think I'm down on fuel. Well, you know what it is. Not enough fuel to keep it running. But let me hook up my fabulous. Yeah, these damn things come off all the time. I should just wrap it in electrical tape. And to be fair, I did just do that yesterday. You probably can't see what I'm doing. Let me get my hands up. So look at this permanent fuel system. I did a mnemonic on a video on accident. I said gray for the Chevrolet. Well, gray is the correct color wire to feed the fuel pump fuel. See here. There we go. It's filling up the bowl. We'll put this underneath here for now. There's a good squirt. Let's see what happens. Those are all the way in. One. I need to readjust the idle circuit. Okay, so half, one, 1.5, half, 1, 1.5. I'm going to flip that choke up, see if that helps. No idea where timing is. And the idle circuit may be low. Yeah, I've got that all the way out. What are you doing, Turbo? Already much more promising. Of course, it's a slotted because China. Ooh, that probably ought not to be touching this terribly frayed wire. So we're going to just give it some fuel. Loads of oil pressure. Oh, vacuum leak. That's not helpful. Let me get something to pinch that off. Which I think still haven't memorized my drawers at all. There goes that paint. You knew it was going to happen. So on this guy, I'm just going to fold it back and pinch it. Oh yeah, header paint. Stuff smells great. Immediately coming off. Yeah, I may pull those out again. Boy. Oh, that sounds rowdy. That sounds rowdy. A lot of oil pressure, good there. No water in it. Timing is not good. Whew. Woo-wee, that paint burns off gnarly. So I gotta get it. You know what? I'm gonna fill it with water. I think that's the next tech. It's running. That's the important thing. So disconnect fuel. It sounds rowdy. Man, I'm glad I did a cam swap on this. Oh boy. Let me first hop under there and check for any obvious leaks. Like any oil leaks or anything. No oil leaks yet. It's burning off the barbecue paint down there. Boy, sounds good. Oh, Ricky G showed up.
You gotta stop freaking coming out here and working all night.
I'm not going to work all night.
All night.
Sleep all day. Work all day. Yeah. All right, boys. We'll see you later. I'm going to get this thing filled up. Well, what's super helpful when adding water is to have the O-ring for this thing. I think in my haste I must have chucked it, or I put it somewhere in really safe keeping, and then I'll look at it and then chuck it later. So I started adding water, and then the other thing I ran across was this is just a straight up open hole, which I don't really understand where that goes and what it's for. No idea. So, I'm just looking for the O-ring. I need to make a trip to AutoZone, get a couple things to plug that off, get an O-ring, then add water, then time this thing, let it get up to temp, and then I'll wire in a fan relay at some point, which won't be too difficult because I've done a million of those, and I've already got the switch, so that should be good. Yeah, so I gotta go make a parts run. Couldn't find the O-ring. Found an O-ring, but I couldn't find the right one. So this is going on the back burner for now. I have one that came with the intake manifold, but I don't have the proper gasket, so I am going to use the right stuff. And I found a section of hose that's going to work just fine. This will be able to bend down and do its thing. So I'm going to go ahead and get that stuck on there, glued in, and pray for the best. I'm gonna clean up that water hole though. But yeah, so of course. And what concerns me is I felt like I had a leak coming out the backside as well, which would be a little bit concerning, but I got to get that plugged up first. Oh, and on that one, I just threaded a bolt in there. It's aluminum, who cares? And pipe doped it. And I'm going to put some of that gasket maker around that just for giggles, just to make sure that it's good. So yeah, that's what I do, is half measures, bro. Half measures. Well, you buy new headers, this is what happens. Idling at 1,000. No idea on the timing yet. I'm just waiting for it to get warm. Alright, so that's already at 160, which tells me that the coolant's a little low. Alright, it's now pressurized. That's a lot of fuel pressure. I expect to burn off oil. Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good to me. No tack signal. Now that can't be right. It's got to be an air pocket. Oh, that's definitely holding pressure. Oh no, that's gotta... We'll let it get to like 210, 200, 210. Then I'll shut it off, let it cool off, and go from there. That's a good little cam though. I love the sound. One thing I can check is if it'll go in gear. Nope. So I gotta keep bleeding that clutch. No, it won't go. So I gotta bleed the clutch. But I can at least let this run. Oh, thermostat opened up. Feels like water. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and time this and then we'll go from there. Got this thing, I checked the radiator cap. There's plenty of coolant in there. I also pulled this hose since this is one of the highest points of the system, and there was water sitting right at the top of the intake. That's water that just spilled out just from that. Water temp came down to 170 or so, and I rigged up the fan. Yes, with my fancy alligator clips. And that thing does move some air. I'm pretty impressed. I got the timing dialed in at 8 degrees. I have no idea what the advance is going to be or any of that stuff, but let's fire it up real quick. I'll check to see if it's charging. It's just a smoky mess currently. pretty good on the key. So theoretically the fuel pump's going. 30 pounds of oil pressure. We're just going to let this thing sit and idle for a while. Definitely seems to be running rich. Need to get an air fuel gauge on it. I just want to watch the temps, make sure that they don't creep up too much. Might as well hook up the advance on it. I don't know why it kicked up like that. I still feel like I'm getting too much fuel. Say hi to Brian, everybody. Hi, Brian. Well, here's the good news. Not a drop is leaking anywhere. Even with my hodgepodge cooling setup. That cooling fan is doing a great job. Just sucking that coolant temp right down, no problem. So once I get that wired up permanently on the thermo switch, that'll be epic. At idle, I'm sitting right at 20 pounds. I have no idea what's normal. It does sound like it has a rod knock, which wouldn't be surprising, but it sure sounds pretty good. I've got accelerator pedal clearance problems. You can hear that knock as I approach. It's definitely not tuned right. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and check the preload on all the valves one more time after it cools off, probably Friday night or something. But as far as the rod knock sound, this is why I think it is. It just sounds like it to me. I know all you can probably hear is that fan, but it just sounds low to me. It definitely needs tuning and all that good stuff, but I'm going to call that a win for today. The clutch definitely still needs to be adjusted. I've got to when it cools down, get under there and then do the proper bleeding procedure. So I'll put my pressure bleeder on, and I guess you gotta undo the slave cylinder, tilt it upwards, and then bleed. Why they couldn't just put a bleeder thing in the right spot, I have no idea, but that's what I understand the issue is. Very well, this could be drivetrain related. I don't know, no idea. But until I can get the clutch to actually work and get it to shift into first gear, there's nothing else I can do really. So anyway, I'm going to call it for the night and get her shut off. Actually, let's just shut her off and start her up again real quick. I mean, it sounds rowdy from back here. I love it. That's off. I mean, that's pretty clean. And it feels good. Whole car shakes. Look at that window. I know my wife won't like it, but I didn't really do this for my wife. Anywho, alright, we're gonna call it a night.